that computer because she was tripping. So we're going to start streaming. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. We can address your questions, as we go. So again, this is more of a, see, it crashed. This is more of a conversation than a presentation. So we should be streaming into our group. Let me go to our group and just make sure we actually are streaming into our group. And that, yep, we're streaming into the group. And that way, anybody in the group can actually log on and see what we got going on. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're about to walk through our presentation. Welcome to our hashtag. Our hashtag is Epic Icon Daily. That is where you will be able to find any trainings that I've done. I do the hashtag Epic Icon Daily. That way it makes it a lot easier to actually look for those presentations. And let's see, I want to turn this, it looks like more like a PDF than it does a, so here we go. I want it. All right, so we're going to get these slides shared. I was able to make a couple of corrections. Hopefully I caught them all, but if not, I'll just let you know, and then you'll be able to see them. So can y'all see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? If somebody could just let me know in the chat if you can see my screen, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, I'm looking at Facebook. It looks like you can see my screen. Where my slides decided to go is a whole nother question. So let's see what Zoom is doing. Let's see what Zoom is actually doing. Come on, Zoom. Stay with me, baby. Stay with me. All right, so it looks like that, but it's just not giving me my slideshow. So give her a second. She's coming, I guess. I reckon from the beginning. There we go. All right, so let's see if they load. They loaded on this side. Let's see if they load on Facebook. All right, so I guess Facebook will catch up. Let's see. See if they load. Okay, yep, we're good. All right, so let's dive straight in. Epic Icons, how to launch and quick start to your $500 in 28 days. And let's see, he can't get in 957. Click the link. All right, Tammy, Derek's is in. Tell him to click the link, man. All right, so how to get to $500 in 28 days, and I would say or less. Okay, I would say or less, but we're going to walk through, the process of getting you there. So this is all about getting you quick started. I'm first going to talk about getting you quick started on the builder side, and then for those of you who have a high interest in the Forex side, I'm going to walk you through the back office on the back end of this particular training. So this is important to both sides. And so I want to get this done first because it's important to both sides, because even if you're going to just trade, you still may want to have the ability to trade and not have that subscription cost. Does that make sense? So let's dive into this information. So first thing, why a coaching session? Well, success starts with being coachable. And so I'm going to walk you through the things that I'm learning. I'm being counseled by the owner of the company. So I'm going to walk you through the things that I'm learning. My sole goal is to develop your potential, create your leadership, right? Develop you into that leader in this platform. Create the skill set and to provide you support. Now, what's interesting about this, that's a little bit different for some of us who've led before, is that we are all starting at ground zero. Like we're all having to go like this because the company just launched October 1st, but that is a good thing too. That is a good thing too. I was talking to one of our new champions, John, today, and he was saying, it seems like some of the companies that he's joined, a lot of money was made in the initial phases. And of course, you make some later, but maybe not as much. So guess where we are? We're in the initial phases. So will there be some humps and some bumps? Absolutely. But I would rather go through the humps and bumps, and we position ourselves to make a great income for our family and our community. Then we start maybe on the back end. So I'm excited for the first time to start on the front side. So if you have your designated pen and paper, what I want you to do is to write this down. Decide my business name. You want to decide what your business name is. Now, what I am showing you is my business name and my logo. Leslie, hers, she has a different logo with, I guess it's an ox, and hers is Black Wall Street 10X, the remix. So everybody's going to have a different business name, but I do believe that you begin to take ownership when you actually have a business name, right? When you actually have a business name. The next thing is we've got to prepare to launch. So how do we prepare to launch? Well, I believe preparation starts in your mind. You have to set a goal, right? But then we also have to put a date on the goal, because what I heard is that a goal, right? That a goal without a date is just a wish, right? Without a date is just a wish. And so we want to make sure that we begin to set a goal. So let's do that together right now. What the owner of the company, Mr. McCovey, told me is that he said that this really, really boils down to three things. And they're three very, very simple things, right? Three very simple things. And one of those is that we must get ourselves, right? We must get ourselves one is we've got to get it. Well, I actually call it PT5. Write that down, y'all. And let me find out where this background noise is coming from. PT5, right? PT5. Now, P stands for position, right? You got to get yourself in position, right? So if you're already signed up, right? If you're already signed up, you've taken care of number one, which is to get into position. Okay. So PT5, the P stands for position. Number two, the T stands for to get your three. Okay. Now, can anybody in the chat, even if you're new, does anybody remember why a person would want to have those 3 scholars? Does anybody in the chat remember why a person would want to have those 3 scholars? Anybody remember that? Let's see. Anybody have an answer to that one? All right, all of y'all are fairly new. So the reason that you would get your 3, right? The reason you would focus on that is because that is where, if you have that, well, since you have that $99.99 subscription fee, let me see. Wait a minute, somebody said something in the chat, 3 and free. That's exactly right, Tammy. That's the reason you want to get your 3. So the second thing that you want to do after getting started is, as quickly as possible, preferably when you're within your first 72 hours to 5 days on the top side. Like 5 days is really on the top side. Is you want to get your 3, and then he says PT5 stands for $500, and that is our goal is to hurry up and get you to that first $500 on the board. But then what would you do for your team? Like, what is it that you would do for your team? Well, the thing that you would do for your team is you would walk them through the same thing. You would get them positioned, you would get them to 3 and free, and then you would get to them to the $500. So the process is a duplicatable one. So the system is very simple. PT5, position 3, $500. So what would be your goal date, right? I need you to write that down. When do you want to be at? If you've already have your 3, congratulations, you're a founder 1. That's fantastic. If you don't have your 3, what's your goal date? This is not something that has to take like forever. We're going to talk about the numbers in a few minutes, but your goal date. And I do know this. Sometimes the day that we sign up and the day that we launch are 2 different days. So when am I prepared to launch? I will tell you, you're prepared to launch when you have a list of names, minimally 70 and preferably 100. I'm going to explain to you why in a minute, because you may be saying to yourself, okay, well, I only need 3. So why would I write down that list? Well, there's some math behind it. And there's some things I'm going to tell you if you're going to be building. But on the other side of that, yes, you really only do need 3, but just like you have a spare tire, you really want to maybe have some spare scholars, because life happens to people. So what's your goal date? So if I started, for example, today, if I were John and I started today, then I would set my 72-hour goal would be, I want to have those first 3 minimally. Now we've seen people do it in as little as 2 to 3 hours. We've seen people take, a day. We've seen people take 3. We've seen people take 30. There's no penalty for it, but whatever it is, set a goal, right? Just set your goal. And then if you set your goal that I am, 3 and free, put a date beside it. So if I were John, today's Tuesday, I would say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, by Friday at 11 p.m. And so I would set that goal. But then the next goal would be, when are you planning on getting to your $500? Like, when would that goal be? I say that goal is probably going to be maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So you see how if you set a goal for a short period of time to get your 3, the next goal is to get you to 500. And that means making sure the 3 have 3. So maybe you set it for another 21 days, 14 days, whatever it is, pick a date. So if you said, okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and set my goal for the 3 and the 500. And today's the 3rd. I like to have it done by the 23rd. Perfect, right? But put a date on it. Now, Coach JP, what happens if I miss the date? Child, if I can tell y'all how many dates I've missed, right? Like I have the goal up and I got to draw through this date and write in another one and then draw through that one, because the goal is that the whole idea, think about it. Like when I used to drive to New York a lot, and I would just set these mental time goals. I want to beat my last time, right? I got a couple of tickets to that, but I wanted to beat my last time, but I had a goal. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes I hit the goal and sometimes I had to stop too many times because I was sleepy. I don't know, but you set the goal anyway. So the next would be to onboard 9 additional scholars. That would be getting team 1, 3, team 2, 3, and team 3, 3, right? So that's the goal. Now, if you are, let's just say this is you, if you are saying that all I want to do is to get the free Forex education, that's fantastic. We get you your 3 scholars. You'll pay $24.99 to sign up as an IBO. Once you sign up as an IBO, the company waives the $99.99 a month fee, okay? And you can sail off into the Forex sunset as long as you have 3 active IBOs, right? You only pay $24.99. So the next goal would be to get, so if you're just, if Forex is your thing, this is the part that applies to you. If you want to erase that overhead, okay, you refer 3 scholars and guess what? That overhead goes away. But what happens is, even though you're not going to build a team, we're part of your senior partnership team. You know, the person in leg 1, leg 2, and leg 3, we're going to offer or afford them the same opportunity that we afforded you. What does that mean? That means we're going to give them the opportunity to have a free education as well. And that's where that's the 9 additional scholars that we're actually talking about right here, where leg 1 will have 4, leg 3 will have, what did I type? Leg 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what that is, but leg 1, 2, and 3, each one of those, okay, each one of those would actually have their 3 sales. Okay, so that's going to drive me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So y'all stay there right there, because I want to make sure I fix that right now. Hold on one second, because I don't know what I typed. So let's go here. So leg 2 has 4 and leg 3 has 4. Woo! Because that was going to drive me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I know it already drove Rosa cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it was definitely going to drive me there. So leg 1 has 4, leg 2 has 4, and leg 3 has 4. And so that actually gives you 4, 4, 4, right? Now the comp plan only requires that you have 4, 4, 2 in order to have $500. But we're going to help each person so everybody can have their free Forex education or build income just by us helping each person to get 3. Does anybody have any questions about the structure, the steps? I get 3 and I help my 3 get 3, right? So I get positioned, I bring on my 3, right? That gets me 3 and free, that's the T. And then when I help my 3 bring on their 3, okay, that 9 additional scholars, right? You know, that we see right here, those 9 additional scholars, now I'm at the 500. What I love about this platform is just by teaching your 3 to do the exact same thing that we just taught you, everybody moves through the compensation plan. Because if you look at the comp plan, right, the first level is you get started as a scholar. Then when you bring on your 3, your membership is actually free, right? So this is you bring on those 3, right? You may or may not be building, I don't know, but we're going to make sure team 1, team 2, and team 3 that they have their 3 so they can eliminate their monthly subscription as well. And so when we do that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, now there you are actually over the numbers that you need, but you are qualified at 4, 4, 2. This team has 4, this team has 4, this team has 4. You've got more than the balance requirements needed so that the company that Friday will start to send you $125 every single Friday. $6,500 a year is what that totals out to be. $500 every 28 days. Okay. Because we have the 13 28-day cycles in a year, you end up with $6,500 just for helping 3 bring 3. That's crazy to me. Like, that's bananas. 10 people will pay you $6,500. That is, I've never seen that happen in a comp plan before. But in order to, if you want to earn additional funds, then what will we do with these 3 people? Well, we will help them to get their 3, just like we help you to get your 3, right? Just like we help your 3 to get their 3. And what happens is when we dig down here and help everybody to get their 3, now your team is 13, 13, 13. But guess what? Your leg 1 now has 4, 4, 4 like you had. Leg 2, 444, like you had, and leg 3, 444, like you had. So what that means is that each one of those organizations, right? Each one of those organizations are now qualified. Now, they won't happen in tandem. It would be great if we all moved in sync, in lockstep, but some will go faster, some will go slower, right? But when you've elevated those, as you are elevating those $300 to $500 each, you're elevating yourself to 1,000. So as opposed to the company sending you the following week the 125, they would increase your income to 250. Now, a question that is always asked, Coach, what if I'm sitting at 32, 32, 16, and all of a sudden my last leg drops down to 14, right? Now I'm 32, 32, 14. Am I going to be paid my $500 this Friday? Do I go back to zero? What happens? So that is a very, very good question. So whenever you fall out of position, the beautiful thing is you have until Sunday at 2:59 a.m. to get it fixed, and you'll go back to whatever that income was. Okay, so that's why you've got to mind your business. You got to look at your back office. You got to know your numbers, right? So if you did fall, though, if this dropped to 14 and you did fall, the company does not take you back to zero. You go back to 250, which is what your numbers qualify you for. Because now you're not 32, 32, 16, right? You're 32, 32, 14. That puts you in this bracket right here. The company will send you 250 that week. The following Sunday, and this is why I say Sunday, our week starts on Monday morning at 3 a.m. and it ends Eastern time, and it ends Monday morning at 2:59 a.m. Eastern time. So as long as we've got that back in place by 2:59 a.m. on Monday morning, that Friday, you're going to be paid back at the regular amount. So you don't go back to zero. There's no need for a grace period because you've got that week. You've got that week to get it done. So know your comp plan, know your numbers. Now that we're talking about setting goals, let me ask you a question. We're again, in order to get there, you get everybody position 3, 500. Keep getting the next group position 3 and 500. You move up the comp plan. But what is your number? Where do you want to be? Right? What is the sweet spot for you? What is it that you need to bring into your household? Like this comp plan, if I were you, I would do just like Rayshawn. She wrote it all the way out. Founder is, sign up. Founder 1, 3 and free. And then founder 500, 442 is $500. Like she wrote the whole thing out because it helps her to zone in on what it is that she's actually looking for. So if you have a goal, all right, if your goal, the sweet spot seems to be somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000, that seems to be the sweet spot, then you begin to write that down and put that around your home. Like what I did was, one of the things that I did, so there was a gentleman in the company that hit ambassador 20, right? And so I took his face off and covered my face. Oh, his face is back there. And his name was right here. I covered his name with Coach JP. And these are what I'm going to put around, in places in my home to remind me of my goal. And then I printed out some of the awards that I want to actually acquire. So I printed those out. I'm going to post those. And so whatever it is, family, make it a goal. If your goal is ambassador 10, then create an ambassador 10 banner and go ahead and post it. Write down, I am already an ambassador 10. I am already a founder 5,000. I am already a founder 2,000 on the before, right? So we're in the middle of a blitz. Our goal is 5,000 by January 30th. Write that down. Where is your number going to be by January 30th? Are you going to be at $1,000, $2,000? Where are you going to be? And like Leslie says, this is better than a lottery. Because if you say I'm a founder 2,000, then what you do is the winning number is 32, 32, 16. You don't have to go in 7-Eleven and buy somebody's ticket and hope that you're one of the 599 million people that's gonna win. You can actually grow yourself there in this business. So if you're gonna bet on anybody, bet on you. Bet on you. It's amazing to me that people will say I can't do it, but then they'll go and they'll do something like a Susu, or they say I can't do it, but then they'll go and buy a lottery ticket. Like your chances of winning in a lottery is less than your chance of winning if you bet on yourself. So I'm going to say today, bet on you. Remember, it's as simple as the power of 3, guys. It's just as simple as the power of 3, meaning you go out there, family, and literally you continue to help everybody to get their 3. That's how your business is going to grow. So if you look at this particular slide, to become an IBO, it's actually $99.99. It costs you $99.99, the cost of 2 seafood boils and 2 glasses of water on date night. That's what I'm saying, right? So it's not like it's a huge thing. And so I wanted a company that kept the price low. It's low. And then it's $99 a month until you have those 3. So here is what I need you to write down. Launch call, right? I must have actually 3. So write down launch calls with an S. If you have not set a date to launch your business, it's time to set a date. Okay, I am here to help you do your launches. I have launches set for 4 different people. I want to make sure I have launches set for everybody. Everybody should have a launch. Like I should be, I bought this, y'all, so that I could keep my throat straight. Okay, so I'm prepared to actually do as many presentations as I can, right? I need to have your launch date. So you want to set 3 launch dates, okay? For example, I think, let me give you an idea of Rosa and Stuart. Let me punch that in. Let's see. Which one of y'all emailed me? Was it Rosa? Okay, so Rosa sent me their dates, the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th. Okay, so that's what you do. Pick a date. Well, I really want to wait and see when my friend's going to be available. Listen, I did a grand opening for an automobile dealership that we spent $750,000 on. Do you really think I was going to wait to see when people were available before I had my goal date, my grand opening date? See, this is your grand opening, family, and as fast as this business is moving, you really don't want to wait and call your cousin in a few weeks because your cousin may end up on somebody else's team. Does that make sense? So let's launch you right away. If I don't have your launch date, please, I'm going to ask you pretty nicely, please, why don't you go ahead and get me your launch dates? Now, if I'm not going to be the one doing your launch party, it might be Ray Sean, it might be Leslie, it might be Yvette, whoever, go ahead and get us your launch dates, right? As quickly as possible. We don't want to fail to launch, okay? You can win, but this is like one of my champions was saying, this is not the platform to sit around and wait and see. Go get yours because it's too easy to get. Does that make sense? So when you get started, your goal is to have a launch party. We can do a Facebook watch party. We can do a Zoom. We can do a call, right? Face to face is not that much, so not so much right now, but whatever it takes, because our whole goal is to get you your first 3, right? Your first 3 IBOs. What does that do? It makes you founder 1. So when you see the banner in Facebook, shout people out, because if you see that banner that says founder 1, it means that they've already recruited their 3. They've got their 3. So you want to make sure, right, that is your goal, that you hurry up and go ahead and get to your 3. But then what are we going to turn around and do? So this is P, position. This is T, right? What are we going to go ahead and do is we want to get you to a place where your 3, right? We help them to get their 3. Same thing over and over and over again. I just thought the people might help, right? We help them to get their 3. That's going to pay you $500. That's the PT5. PT5, it is just a matter of you getting your 3. So think about how most platforms are, where you actually got to be like this super duper uber recruiter, right? You've got to be this crazy mad recruiter to actually earn, because we build, this is like Lego building blocks. We build on each other. Well, actually your mentor builds down, right? Builds down to help you. And then there's a boomerang effect that it actually blesses them. So it's a little bit different than most places. Like the whole idea is that the most important person on the team is Brene. The most important person on the team is John. Does that make sense? Anybody who just got started, well, all of us really, because we just got started, but the most important person is that newest person. And the mindset that we want to teach everybody is that if it is to be, it's up to me. Like you really want to think about it from the perspective of, for example, with Leslie, when she was running for a $50,000 bonus in our other company, and she put 137 people in 47 days. When I tell you we were running between Illinois, Chicago, Illinois, and another place in Illinois, and between St. Louis and East St. Louis and all of these different places, what I told her coming out the gate is 2 things. We don't play the blame game on the icon team. We're not going to blame our downline for anything. We make sure if we do what we got to do, because the only person we can control is ourselves. And I told her that $50,000 bonus is your bonus, right? It's, even though we share with the team, like we set goals and contests and stuff. But my point is, you're running for your $50,000 bonus. He's running for his $50,000 bonus. So the mindset has to be, if it is to be, it's up to me. So I told her, if you got to run for all 100 by yourself, that has to be the mindset. It's never what's going to happen. But you can never put yourself in a position where anybody feels like you're depending on them. Go get it yourself. And it is doable because she put all 70 some people in by herself. So my point is, in this, it's a lot simpler. You can actually get to 50,000 a month in this by bringing in your 3. Does that make sense? And just repeating the process. But I'm going to tell you that that first bonus level, all right, I'm going to draw it out for you. That first bonus level, which looks like this, right? It looks like this. Let me get a nice looking color. Hold on. That blue, is that blue showing up right there? Is that blue showing up, family? Hey, Dale, welcome, welcome. If I hope that blue is showing up and you guys can see it. I don't know if I need to do maybe like a yellow. Let me try like, yeah, that's a little bit.
Yes.
It's good. Okay. So with the way the comp plan is structured, right? The way the comp plan is structured. And again, those of you who are waiting to see the back office and how we work as far as the as far as the trading side, I'm going to get back to that here shortly. But for now, I'm covering the first part on the building side. So the mindset has to be just what I told Leslie. All right, this is the way your business looks. Okay, this is the way your business looks when you go from just being positioned, which is up here, to where you actually have your 3, which is 1, 2, and 3 right here. So that's the beginning. So in your mind, right? In your mind, your goal is to get to the 500. My question is, are you going to wait on somebody else to get you there? That's my question. See, because if it is to be, it's up to me. It doesn't take much to bring on the other 9 people, right? That will get your business to a place where you don't pay that monthly. I mean, those 3 don't pay the monthly subscription. So remember, when you get started here, you pay your $99, your position. We want to help you to get those 3. How? We'll do one-on-one webinars like we did today with Brene. John was different. I actually messaged him in Facebook Messenger. He messaged back. I said, I would like to share something with you. He said, well, I don't jump companies and stuff. I said, that's not what I'm asking you to do. I said, can you just take a look at this video and let me know what you think? Well, 2 weeks later was today. And then we had a conversation. So it's, as long as we are out there doing the activity, getting the 3 is not that difficult. But then to get to the $500, this is what blows my mind, is just by helping your 3 to actually get their 3, right? You're going to elevate yourself to $500. Just having those 12 people on your team, you really only need 10, but we treat every leg alike. You're going to have $500 just for having 10 people. That comes in every single, Friday is $125. Every 4 Fridays, you've earned the 500. So somebody has just created $6,500 for their family, for their household, towards their bills. I mean, think about it. If your car payment is $500, like not so much anymore, but if your car payment is $500, you literally have your car payment paid just for helping 10 people. Like, that's bananas. So what do you do? How do you get to, if that's my mindset, coach, that if it is to be, it's up to me, then how do I actually go about bringing in all 12 by myself? How do I go about doing that? So we're going to talk about that now. So first things first, you want to make a list of 70 to 100 names. I'm going to talk about 100, but it's all relative. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 100. And the reason I say that is I want to do your launch. So please text me your launch dates, 757-725-4721. Get on my calendar so I can go ahead and do your grand opening launch. If anybody's ever had a home party, it's the same thing. We're just going to do it online. Does that make sense? It's the same thing. So this means you can invite people from Ghana and invite people from Nigeria or from Ireland or from Tanzania. You can invite anybody because we're going to be on Zoom, right? So you don't even have to worry about, they can't get to my house because everybody's going to be on Zoom. But I'm going to tell you to call how many. Who knows what I'm going to say out of that 100 people, right? Who knows what I'm going to say as far as how many you should call for your launch party? How many should you call for your launch party? Let me see who's going to talk to me in the chat. How many? You're going to have your grand opening launch. You're going to have it on November the 10th at 7 p.m. How many people do I want you to call? Talk to me. Take a stab at it. If you're not sure, It's better to guess and find out than to just wait, right? So how many people? Let me see who's talking to me. All right, that's exactly right. Oh no, no, Curvis, you're close. You're missing a zero. How many people would I tell you to call for your grand opening? How many? Good guess, Curvis. Add a zero. How many people? Let's look at what you guys have to say. All 100. There you go. Irene says 100. Exactly. Brene says 100. The reason is that you're going to actually make a call to all 100 is because this is a numbers game. That's right, Rosa. All 100. So you're going to call all 100. Now, you will only be able to invite probably about 80 of them. Well, Coach JP, there's 20 more in there. Where are the other 20? I'm going to tell you where they are. Some of them told you to kick rocks. Don't call me back with that stuff. I'm not interested in anything like that, right? Some of them, their phone numbers have been disconnected. Some of them are not going to answer the phone. And some of them are going to say, well, can you call me back later? Does that make sense? So you may not get a chance to invite all 100. Then out of the ones that you invite, that's actually say, well, yeah, I'll get up there. We'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 65 people, maybe 70. That say, yes, I will look at your webinar. I am going to take a look at your webinar. But the webinar doesn't happen to the 10th. Today is the 3rd. So we're going to confirm them or send them a friendly reminder, right? We're going to send them a friendly reminder, but only 55 even remembered, right? Only 55 even remembered that they were actually supposed to be on a webinar with you. No problem. It's human. As soon as they got off the phone with you, the kids broke a dish, the boss called, just anything, right? So what I'm saying is you're not expecting everybody to follow through, and it's okay. Then, right, when the webinar comes, the 55 said they were going to be there, but guess how many showed up, right? Guess how many showed up? You have 40 people to show up. Where's my marker? Come on, marker, stay with me. I'm just not understanding. What is wrong with you, Zoom? Hold on, guys. Let me take the marker down and put it back up. So 40 people actually show up on the Zoom. 40 people show up. Coach, Lord, I started with 100. I'm telling you, it's a numbers game. But 10 of them drop off. They're like, man, this is not for me, or their phone rang, or a notification from YouTube came in that somebody just dropped a new song, whatever. And 10 of them drop off for whatever reason. 30 of them actually see your information and stay on to the end. Well, Coach JP, am I going to be able to recruit then all 30? Absolutely not. You're going to end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12. And how many do you need to make that earn that $500? 10. So you see how I'm saying, if we do your launch right, you can get well past your $500 so quickly, family, but we've got to launch. We can't wait to launch. We've got to go ahead and we've got to launch your business. Does that make sense? So to help you to build a list inside of our Facebook group, we have the memory jogger, or you can just put in Google, you can put in Eric Worre Ultimate Memory Jogger. And what it does is it goes through things like, who do you know that's a barber, or who do you know that's a chef, or who do you know that's a dog catcher? Who do you know that loves elephants? Who do you know that goes fishing? So they're going to go through the alphabet of employees, or in type of occupations. They're going to go through the alphabet of names. And all it does is it helps your brain to think of somebody. Like it may say Fred, who you know named Fred, and you go, shoot, I remember a guy named Frank, right? So it's not that you're going to have those exact names. It just starts to jog your memory. That document is in the back office. It can help. I will tell you, first things first, family, do a phone dump, right? Do what we call a phone dump, like go literally into your phone and put every name. Now, you don't know everybody, okay? And some of the people that you're going to call are going to have a different number, right? And it's not going to be the same person. I've got a way that you can talk to them too, right? So, oh man, listen, my company's expanding and they wanted to earn some extra income, and we're looking for people who wanted to earn about $500 to $2,000 a month, and we train, and I was going to invite them to do that. But you don't know them, you don't know who that is, and that person may say something like, well, tell me a little bit more about it, right? You can always play it off, is what I'm saying. So get that memory jogger, and you're going to write down the names of people. And if somebody don't remember, I've got a script for that too. Next is to do the math. Understand something. Hank Aaron made millions of dollars to miss the ball 8 out of 10 times. Now you may be saying, no, coach, they paid him to connect with the ball. I know, but they only expected him to connect with the ball 1.9 out of 10 times. So, Coach, you're telling me that they paid that man millions of dollars to miss the ball 80% of the time. That's exactly what I'm telling you. The average, what is it? Batting average or whatever is anywhere from like 1.8 to 2.3 or something like that. It's in that range. They don't expect them to connect 10 times. Why am I telling you that? Because I don't want you to come in this business and expect that everybody's going to say yes. But here's what I do want to tell you why you should not have fear right now going out there and talking to people. The reason you should not have fear is because 42 million Americans were laid off. They're either underemployed, or know somebody who is. And so if you go through the math, right? I just drew it out on the board. If you go through the math, if you actually go through the math, then you will understand that, and call those people. You never know. Not 10 months ago, people who told us to kick rocks after they've rethought their life through this health pandemic are thinking, maybe not kick rocks, right? Maybe not. You just don't know. And so again, it's just a matter of piquing interest. I've got scripts in the back office that help you. Something like, hey, Rosa, this is Janice. We haven't had time to catch up, but I know you're busy. I'm busy. Listen, my company is expanding. They're looking for people who want to earn anywhere from $500 to $2,000 extra income. They do the training. Do you know 2 or 3 people I can talk to? Now, because I didn't ask her if she wanted to do so, right? So that she could ask me a bunch of questions, she's going to go, yeah, me. And I said, oh, really? You? Okay. Well, all right, cool. Well, listen, can't go into details now. Like I said, I'm running, but the executive team is actually hosting a webinar tomorrow night at 9:00. Rosa, if I could get you on that webinar, could you clear your calendar to be there? Rosa says, I think so. So Rosa, listen, thank you for thinking so, but I'm not looking for effort right now. I'm actually looking for people who, can actually be there because we have limited spaces. Well, I'll definitely be there. Wonderful. Now, Rosa, it's very important though, if something comes up, that you let me know that you can't be there. Is that cool? That you gotta let me know that you can't be there, because if you're not there, I want to put somebody else in your spot. She says, oh, no, I'll definitely be there. Okay. I said, well, great. Listen, I'm going to see if I can get you a spot. Okay. I'll let you know. I promise by noon tomorrow, if I can get you in, I'll send you the login credentials tomorrow at noon. And then I'll remind you again about 30 minutes before the presentation. Is that cool? Oh, okay. That works. Fantastic. Because sometimes I do forget, girl, I know. So listen, when is the best time for us to connect, Rosa? Right after the webinar, about 9:45 or sometime on Thursday. 9:45 will be late. Me and Stuart will actually be turning down. So how about lunch on Thursday? Fantastic. You prefer like 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock? What's better? Normally around 1. All right, fantastic. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to fight to get you a seat on the webinar. I promise I will let you know tomorrow at noon. Then you're going to be on the webinar for sure. And then we're going to reconnect on your lunch break on Thursday. Is that correct? 1 o'clock? Perfect. All right, listen, I hate to dine and dash, but I got to go. But I promise I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. Click. I'm not talking about Forex. I'm not talking about back offices. I'm not talking about teams. I'm not talking about anything. And then you can invite her directly to the launch party that I'm doing specifically for you. You can invite her to a webinar that we're doing with the team. Or I don't like videos, but sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. All of the videos I've done they're in our Facebook group. As you listen to them, find the one that you think works for you. I remember Ray Sean in our other project found one video that made her $14,000. She played that video over and over, but she didn't send it to people. She sat down with people on a webinar or in their face and actually played the Zoom. So, and then the most important thing is get them on a 3-way call. Don't try to do it by yourself. Right. That's why Dell, Nikki's saying for me and you to connect, because, she's spanking brand new. So make sure you get people on a 3-way call, family. And remember, it's about duplication. You can't teach something you're not doing. So you've got to make a massive list so that when Curvis says, well, Les, how many people do you put on your list? Leslie will say 567. Curvis will be like, oh, for real? 567 people? And Leslie will say, I don't remember those people, but I'm going to call them anyway. So you have to set the tone for your team. If you make a list of 12 and they say, well, how many did you put on your list? And you say 12, they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, I probably can come up with 7. So you got to set the tone for your team. Launch your business. If your team is going to launch, they need to know how long did it take you to launch. Are you going to tell them, oh, I waited 30 days, right? Or you're going to tell them within 72 hours, I had my launch date set. Introduce your new team member to the leader. You want to make sure you tie them into not only the leader, you want to make sure that you schedule their launch call. And listen, what grandma used to say, like Simon says, launch party in 30 days, but in 72 hours, but you do it in 30 days. What do you think your team is going to do? 30 days, right? So you want to set the standard and say, hey, I set up my launch immediately. Plug all your new members into training like this one, like the one we're going to do at 10 o'clock. When you are Founder 2000, it's about time to start scheduling some weekly calls with your champions, okay? Because you're taking on that leadership role. And then mind your business. You need to know what your numbers are. If I call and say, hey, where are we going to drop this person? You kind of should know where in your mind these people are going to be dropped. And guess what, guys? After a week, we're going to need you to help out some stuff, like doing the introduction or doing the reading or doing the prayer at the end of our trainings. Whatever it is, feel free to volunteer for stuff. And by all means, family play team, if you see somebody in the group has just reached an accomplishment, 74 people in the group, it shouldn't be the same 7 people that actually say congratulations, right? So step up, play team, be a leader before you're the leader. Like, act like you're a Founder 2000 before you're a Founder 2000. Act like you're, an ambassador before you're an ambassador. You need to walk like an ambassador, talk like an ambassador, look like an ambassador. Does that make sense? And then lastly, guys, for those of you who want to see what the back office looks like if you're going to just trade, because 85 to 90% of the people on our team, they only want to trade. And that's cool. It's cool that that's all they want to do. So when you actually, okay, this is not my back office, I'm sorry. When you actually get started, they have so much comprehensive coverage for you, right? If you're going to, you're going to actually, be a trader. Like, we just onboarded 2 people that are, actually over their 70s. They are what we call our seniorpreneurs. And these 2 ladies are studying Forex. So we know, right? We know that anybody can learn. Then Renee has a 15-year-old that wants to know Forex, and we have Epic Kids coming. So Renee is the perfect thing for her. So when you go into your back office, first things first, I'm gonna start at the bottom, guys. First things first is your calendar. This is the calendar of all the trading events, right? You can left click and drop it straight into your calendar if you want to. All the events that you want to attend, you can get on the live sessions, you can go in the study hall, you can go into trade view, all of that stuff that I don't know anything about, because the product for me is people, the product over in Forex is currency. But if since you're just getting started, you miss some of the replays. So you can go right here. Here's a drop down of 8 actual replays that you can actually look at, okay, to catch you up on some of the information. You can go and look at market forecasts. They're going to teach you how to predict and understand the market. There are 7 videos in here that you can go back and look at, but they teach you how to know what the trends are, what basically what the money is doing, the currency is doing. Watch the traders. Then we have traders that earn 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year. You can get on and watch them at 2 a.m., 7 a.m., and 9 p.m. And what the difference is 2 a.m. is when the London session opens, 7 a.m. is when the New York session opens, and 9 is when the live session opens. One of the things that a person has a question that, because we have a New York session, is this tied to Dow Jones or NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange? Nothing to do with it. We don't invest in companies. We don't buy stock, right? We don't buy low, sell high. You're going to be taught to purchase currency, and it's literally a very, very quick transaction. You're in the market, you come out. So you don't spend the day in the market watching the market, like, you don't do that. They're going to tell you, they're going to send you what they call a signal through Telegram. You can join Telegram by putting in your Telegram, your user ID and your ID number. You cannot join the Telegram if you're not an active part, and they do run scans to see who's fallen off. So if you fall off, you will be taken out of because you didn't pay your fee, you will be taken out of the Telegram group until such time as you reactivate and they can prove that you are active. Fair enough. And so when I went on the study hall today with with my Bridget, they were live in this application right here called Trading View, and she was teaching them to understand what it meant when there was this level of blankness, right? And I think she called it level green or something, I don't know. But anyway, I was just showing Mama Bridget where she needed to be at 7 p.m. But all of that information is in the calendar. And then Epic University. Family, they want you to go through the entire university. I recommend that you download these documents, the 2-week syllabus, even though it is digital as well, the Trading in the Zone, the Candlestick Bible, and the affirmations, right? And I put mine in like a notebook. So I bought a real pretty prissy notebook. This is, and I put mine in here because I like to highlight stuff, make notes, copy. Our younger people, like Renee's daughter, probably looking at me like, what, paper? Are you kidding me right now? I'm like, yeah, paper, But, but different strokes for different folks. But when you go right here and you enter the university, you go right here and you actually enter the university, you start off with the welcome video. You watch that, and then you click, if you see down here in the bottom right-hand side, you click mark completed. Then it'll unlock the next video. So now I'm able to watch the market mental psychology. Once I finish that, I'll look over it again, and then, I'll mark it completed. Now, Stuart, who will be speaking on our 9 o'clock webinar in just about 10 and a half minutes, he and his beautiful wife have done several of these. Okay, so they're walking through the process. For our traders, we do have Sunday night call at 8 p.m. We call it a platform called Forex Together, where we're literally just going to walk through this together. Does that make sense? So we're going to do it together. And then that way I can go from demo account to a live account myself. In other words, we've got something for everybody. But what like Stuart likes to say, he says that in this particular platform, what he loves is that he doesn't have to be a master recruiter to earn $2,000 to $3,000 a month, to earn $10,000 a month. He can do it on the Forex side. As for myself, I'm going to start on the building side, and then as my revenue for investments increase, I'll go over there and learn something. Well, I just learned it from Stuart and Rosa, whatever. But my point is, you can do what you want. You can pick A, I want to just do trading. B, I want to build. C, I want to do both. The beautiful thing is you can decide what you want. You're not eliminated for anything. $199.99 fee gives you access to everything. And of course, if you want that education for free, that Forex education platform for free, just refer 3 scholars. Well, coach, do I have to show the presentation to them? No, you don't have to. I run my mouth plenty. And there are others on this team that run their mouth plenty as well. We'll get them on your team. So you're like the point guard. If you bring the ball up and get it to us, right? Get it to us. One of us will get it in the hoop. It's just a matter of you bringing the ball up and getting it to us. Fair enough. So I'm going to let you guys take a breather. I'm not going to shut down. I'm not going to shut down the meeting, since people need to start logging on for 9 o'clock anyway. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go finish my face and look a little bit more human by the time we get ready to do the presentation here in just a few minutes.